Hi everyone. For as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a geologist, which is someone that studies rocks. It's not that entertaining. By the age of 6, I had already decided where I wanted to live, which is a cabin on a river near where I played each summer. The car I wanted to drive, a mint green Volkswagen Beetle. I don't know why. But I had also planned out my entire workspace, career, travel trips, and just about my entire life before I was 10. And everybody that I told my master plan to was encouraging of my decision and very enthused. After a decade of schooling and life experience, I now understand how damaging that decision was and how detrimental it was to me as a person. What was worse was that everybody in my community revered me as such a wise child for having decided everything, when in fact it was my blind certainty that caused such a problem in my life. And this is also the problem in the lives of so many other individuals, which has allowed me to speak here today. So, going forward and approaching other people about my decision, I learned that by properly deciding everything that you want to do, and by leaving no room for risk, you're actually taking away from opportunity that can be gained in life. And I found that so many other people were living their life like the rubric of an assignment. Hello everyone, my name is Aaron Peach. I'm in grade 12 at Vancouver College, and I'm happy to say that I will never be a geologist. I don't want to drive a mint green Volkswagen Beetle, and I will not live on a cabin on a river. Instead, I am a 17-year-old retail store owner, founder of my own company, and entirely a risk taker. So today I'm going to talk to you about risk in relation to entrepreneurship and building your own business. Now, entrepreneurship has never been more popular than right now. It is dominating media and has become just a huge mainstream movement, inspiring really incredible stories from a lot of other teenagers across the world. At the same time, we have the young generation, the millennial generation, and the minds of tomorrow becoming exponentially more capable of accessing information and then acquiring that knowledge through media, technology, and other sources. At the crux of both of these, we have what should be the best and most opportune time for becoming an entrepreneur. So here's the curveball. We could be the worst entrepreneurial generation in the history of humankind. That's a problem to me. Now that's a statement from American Express, and that claim is consistent in other publications by Forbes magazine and the Wall Street Journal. The next 3 statistics I provide will lend an understanding as to why. Number 1, a Bentley University survey of millennials found that 66% of respondents have a desire to start their own business. Number 2, Brett Heisen, the editorial chief of Millennial magazine, found that 60% of all teenagers and millennials consider themselves to be entrepreneurs or business owners. Number 3, since 1980, there has been a decrease in the number of business owners under the age of 30 by roughly 28%. So what this means is that the millennial generation likes to think of themselves as business owners, or they like to entertain the idea that a solid job and a nice suit makes them an entrepreneur. But both of those are false. In fact, what these statistics show us are a reflection of how the millennial generation has the ambition to start their own business, has the entitlement to think that they own one already, but ultimately how they are so afraid of risk to even begin achieving what they want in business world. And that's really where the problem starts, is with the word risk, or as I call it, the illusion and misconception of the term. Because risk as we understand it now is associated with a negative outcome or a bad outcome from a choice that you make. I see risk a little bit differently, and I'm going to explain that. But risk as a word in and of itself is fear incentivizing. And the way that millennials have been taught risk is designed to ultimately make them modern laborers, and really to train them as a fear tactic into believing in job stability and the safety of a workplace. The fact of the matter is, whether you're working in an office, a lawyer, or a doctor, you are not necessarily safer than you are in business. Although you can be working in a special field or in a corporate office, the assumption that the greater economic field of North America has any consideration towards one individual's workplace and security is complete superstition. There is really no such thing as job security. So if any of you are thinking to yourself, well, I have a good job, and I lead a healthy lifestyle, and I am progressive in my lifestyle also, well, that's good. But that probably has nothing to do with the stability of your job. It has everything to do, in fact, with your work-life balance and who you are as a person. That is something that I believe can be translated from a normal workplace, or what you would consider a static workplace, to something dynamic, more creative and free-flowing, like owning your own business or any entrepreneurial venture. The biggest gap is by changing your mentality of risk from a word that is bad to seeing it differently. I see risk as the opportunity that other people will not take. And I have carried that mentality into my own ventures within retail and other business. But apart from business, changing risk to opportunity has increased my enjoyment of life and has made my experience of life and the things I value much more meaningful and profound. And I think that by changing everyone else's mentality from risk to opportunity, I'm sure you will see the same things in your own life, hopefully in entrepreneurship, should you choose to accomplish that. Now, the next matter of discussion would be the issue of how you view your life. Because truly there are two ways of looking at life. You are either acting or reacting to something immediately. Now, both of them have a moment and a purpose. However, I believe that a reactive life is what contributes to the sense of feeling a repetitive daily cycle or a mundane lifestyle. Now, as an entrepreneur in the North American business world, it can be a little bleak when starting off. It's a bit discouraging as a young entrepreneur to see, in North America anyways, how much of business is already run and orchestrated by mega corporations and huge enterprise. Someone reacting to life would say, well, based on an inevitable outcome of failure, or being outcompeted perhaps by such a large industry, there's no point in me really trying. However, someone acting and being progressive with their mindset, changing the idea of risk to opportunity, they would pursue their actions, despite any circumstance previously understood by someone who is reacting to their own life. And should you choose to act on your life earlier on, I believe that there are many benefits. So the benefits of taking on financial risk early in your life are simply that you risk less and you can rebuild quicker. As a millennial investor, trying to tackle initial investment in a company or beginning a new project, a side hustle, whatever you're thinking of, having to take care of a family, consider debt, mortgage, rent, a house, a car, these can all become very major obstacles. And so if at a young age you are inspired with the passion or the drive to fulfill something in the business world or as an entrepreneur, please, I encourage that you pursue it. because you risk far less now as a millennial, as a teenager, than you do perhaps when you have a family or other matters that need to be attended to first and foremost before any other business venture. In addition, I believe that by becoming accustomed to financial failure and financial independency at a younger age, you are just better equipped for life in general. So in conclusion, I would say that risk itself is very real, but it's only bad if you make it bad. Risk, as I see it, is just opportunity. And I hope that everybody in the crowd today sees opportunity within their own life that they could take advantage of. Thank you.